So a very big welcome, Cecilia Jarvis. So you've got a deep and long history with psychosynthesis, uh, and it would be lovely to hear a bit more as we start to frame your interest in the book that you've just written. Congratulations. So,
Thank you, Kim. Yes, I have a very long history with psychosynthesis. I was a member of Group 4, and and finished my training in 1988. So that is 35 years ago. And we'd started in Old Street in an old primary school at the top of the primary school. So we were up in the highest level of the building. While we were doing our training, and then Trust, obviously, as you know, moved to Guildford Street, and then obviously to Tooley Street. So, and I was a founder member of the Association of Psychospiritual Psychotherapists. I think you've still got that foundation document with its signing downstairs in Tooley Street. So a very, very long association with psychosynthesis. I came back and I did some supervision for the trust for, I think, about 5 years. And I also taught application of psychosynthesis. All of that stopped around about, I think, 2012. And I am now with you in capacity as a moderator, your external moderator for the UKCP processes. So very long time, and I've been a training therapist for the Trust for many years as well. So you're there with me all the time, as it were.
and of course so that's a long time being a counsellor, a psychotherapist, and you've run your own organisation as well in counselling. Yeah. Do you want to say a little more about that?
Yes, I've been involved with the Mary Ward Centre in central London, one of the adult education organisations. And I set up all their accredited courses, starting with the sort of foundation level in 1996, I think it was. And then in 2001, with a colleague, setting up the professional diploma, an integrative diploma that included the transpersonal. It wasn't purely psychosynthesis, but it absolutely acknowledged the transpersonal relationship within the therapeutic relationship. So ran that course till last summer. So took 20 groups of trainees through the professional process and program. So very exciting for very many years, and feel it's a bit of a legacy. Was really from that work I did in Queen Square, and listening to other trainees, psychosynthesis trainees, people from Metanoia, really listening to the story of people in training and what people go through, and sort of being witness to that. You know, it's very hard to do a professional training and to do it well. So all of this sort of sowed seeds for me to write the book, to sort of put it in one place, the journey of training as a counsellor or psychotherapist, because so much is shared. You end up with different qualifications, but those very beginning years, those beginning times, there's a lot of shared experience about what it means to go and find a placement, what's it like to have your first clients, what's it like to be in supervision. All of this is across the board, although the end of the journey and the demands of the journey may have different things. There is a lot of commonality in some processes. What does it mean to be in therapy? If you've never been in therapy before, and they're big processes and they're demanding. and to do it well and to fulfill the demands of training. It is enormous. So I've been witness to and heard many of those stories.
So you've got a really unique opportunity of perspective, because having run your own organization and as a moderator with the trust as you hold now, you see our course in terms of its process, in terms of how our students are doing on the course, you know, both from the perspective of the organization, but also, you know, in relationship with the students themselves.
Yes.
Really
I see the hard work and the commitment and the demands, what is now required in training, which is very different, I think, from when I sat in 1988 in the top floor in Old Street. And this is across the board. Training is now extreme. I mean, it's always hard, but it's extremely demanding now. All the requirements, much more than when I started. I'm going to be honest about that. You know, it really is very demanding now, of time, of energy, of money. It's huge for somebody to say yes to that calling, and yes, I will invest in it. It really is
investment, because it also is your own, you know, the student's own personal journey that is shifted and shaken throughout the training.
Shifted and shaken. I totally agree. That's what you see. And I think if it doesn't happen, how is there room for change? How is there room for expansion? You know, it is hard to learn. We have those hard moments of learning. And I suppose one of the things I want to say in the book is, and I hope I have said it, is that allow yourself to learn. Don't get caught in perfectionism and I have to do it well all the time. We don't learn. If I hadn't done a dreadful session in sort of lab situation with a peer, I can't remember who my peer is, but apologies to the universe, really, I wouldn't have learned something.
Yeah,
it was hard learning, but it was important learning. So I'd say I really want to say to people, don't get put off. Sometimes learning is hard, but if we can grow the seeds out of that, I think it's really, really important. Yeah,
it's that journey of change, and I think your story really illuminates how sometimes in the beginning, you know, you might not get it right, and that's just the nature of learning a new skill. So I don't know of a book that really speaks to the journey of embarking on a vocation, a vocational training like this.
There are lots of wonderful theory books, and you know, and different theories speak to different people, and there are a lot of very, very good books, but I didn't feel there was a practical book that took the whole journey through. So I'm hoping that's what my book does, that it takes you from, if you're considering what to do as a training, to actually starting in private practice. That's the arc of the journey. But I hope it's particularly helpful to, when you're really starting out, that beginning supervision, that beginning in the placement, that beginning to develop as a reflective practitioner in the work. I hope it really supports people to do that, and out of people's presence and how we relate to people and how we talk and how we work with emotions. To me, that's the essence of it, built on our capacity to listen and to really hear somebody else's story while reflecting on the impact on ourselves, because clients have an impact on us. So that's what I'm hoping to do, with lots of self-reflections, little exercises in the book, and very grateful to some of my students from Mary Ward who actually wrote little vignettes or wrote little comments at various places about supervision, or about working with feelings, or about how you find a placement, or how you choose a training. So I'm far away from the coalface. They were very near the coalface. So I really felt it was important that they had a voice, because they were nearer to the actual process of that early learning. Not that we don't have things to learn, but that early learning stages.
And I think it's a minefield, just thinking about training and deciding which modality.
Yes. Yes. And people have to really, I think, know what's in their heart. And they also have to be practical. You may want to do something and it's not the right time, or it's too far away, or whatever. So it's, how do we hold head and heart?
Those are wise words. Brilliant. Cecilia, thank you. Is there anything that you'd like to add?
Not only that I know what the trust gives us training is robust and valuable. I'm really glad that I started all those years ago at the trust. And of course, we always have a journey of learning throughout the life, but to give trainees a good and robust start, it sets them up. So well done to the trust for their part in their contribution to professional training. And thank you, Kim, for inviting me to this conversation.
It's a delight to see you.